been all day in.
I guess it's showtime. Hey guys, welcome to the Twisted Wellness Show and podcast. It's your favorite girl, NYKOLE, and your girl around the way, TONYA. What's up, y'all? Let's go.
Don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it. Come on, baby, don't play with it.
Did the most to that?
Come on, guys, let's get this party started. Yes. I hope you had a great week, guys. I hope you had a great, amazing week, right?
Absolutely.
How was your week?
My week has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you do this week?
Busy.
Really?
Busy.
The body image. Wait a minute. Oh, I can't even stand up. Wait a minute.
Show them the body image.
Do y'all see this?
Show them. BIBL, Body Image Beauty Lounge. Work it, Inga. Work it, sis.
Listen, this episode, of course, is sponsored by Body Image Beauty Lounge. TONYA's in the
building. I'm in the building.
TOZone, my affirmation candle. Should I get my candle?
Yes.
Oh, wait, let me show you. My affirmation candle, guys. The collection is growing.
And it smells amazing, you guys. Seriously.
Yes.
If you don't have an NYKOLE affirmation candle, you need to get yourself one.
Listen, I'm giving Bath and Body Works a run for their money.
Oh, yes, you are.
The burn is lasting, and the smell is even longer.
Yes, when I walked in the house the other day, seriously.
Really?
It smells so good.
Oh my gosh, I took some of my friends in the hospital. Get well soon. But the nurses were coming in there. They were like, oh my gosh, your room smells so good.
Oh, it had the room smell.
I literally went in there. Are you like that? My friend's in the hospital, and I just don't like hospital gowns, man. I can't stand the whole hospital experience. So I tried to give her a Twisted Wellness Body Image Beauty Lounge, my affirmation candle experience. I took
the whole experience.
Literally, I took a change of clothes, candles, the wax melts, blankets, a flower. Like I literally decorated the room. But guess what? She was feeling so much better.
Good. So I'm sure you brightened up her day.
I did.
So get well.
I know. What are you talking about today? Oh wait, TOZone, right?
TOZone.
Shout out to the TOZone. You listen. She do the TOZone justice. Shout out to TOZone.
Shout out to the TOZone. My bro. Check out my bro at the TOZone. Say he is the GOAT when you want to get your towing on.
Yes.
Learning about the business, recycling, getting those cats and getting that money. TOZone. Yes.
So
that's one of our special.
Yes, our sponsors. And listen, if you want to be a sponsor, guys, all you have to do is email us at sponsorship@twistedwellness.com. And then follow TONYA, bodyimagebeautylounge.com. What's your handle on, what is it, at Body Image Beauty Lounge? On like Instagram and Facebook?
Everything across the board is Body Image Beauty Lounge. All across the board. Facebook and Instagram. Hit me up, you guys. Yes,
and then mine is at NYKOLE. That's INGANYKOLE. Did you know that they say that when you pick a name, you shouldn't have to spell it? It should be something where people could just find it.
I understand they say that, but they also should say it should be as long as mine is long. Body Image Beauty Lounge.
But if we type it along enough, it comes up.
It comes up.
So keep typing it. Keep typing it,
because once you put in Body Image, it should come up.
Listen, once you put it in, and you gotta go. When I tell y'all my favorite thing, I'm getting a facial this week. Do I say that every week?
You say that every week.
No, guys, listen. TONYA, she give you this facial, and then you be feeling like. That's how I be feeling like, yes. But I get in the bag.
She loves it.
I get in the bag. It's like the Detoxana bag. Oh, the funniest thing, the story is real. So you ever go to get a massage or go to the spa, and you think that you just dozed off for a minute. So I get in this bag. She oil me up. She give me right.
Yes.
I mean, when I get out of this bag, I be looking snatched like this. And so I be in the bag though, and I'm getting a facial, and everything is just feeling so like spotty da. And I think that I be like, oops, sorry, child, I dozed off for a minute. Cause you ever catch yourself, you be like, that little, I'm not trying to say I snore, cause pretty girls don't snore, child. You know, don't believe it. They got some videos of me, I look like a corpse. But I thought at TONYA's that I thought that at your place I like just dozed out for a minute. I caught myself. Why she had a whole video? Why she had a whole 8 minutes?
I did, yo. I couldn't help myself.
That ain't right.
I did. I caught her.
She's not right for that. 8 minutes. I had an 8-minute snoring video.
Caught her on the belly.
That's all right, but it's such a good experience. So Body Image Beauty Lounge. Shout out.
Thank you for all that has already supported and that's going to support.
That's what's all about.
Go us. Yeah. But now let's get into it. Let's get into it, sis.
Wait, let me get into it.
Get into it.
Don't be mad, y'all, if I take off my shoes. y'all see that every week we're getting better and better and more fun and just relax. It's just girl talk. That's what it's all about. So I might be talking to Tonya, busting it up, but you were there too. So jump into the conversation anytime. Make sure you're commenting. Make sure you're asking questions. If you have a suggestion or something to say, you want to say, I want you to say that. And another thing, if you got show suggestions, like a topic of women's wellness and self-care that you want to talk about, make sure you're DMing us. Send it under the comments, put it in a DM, send us an email, call Tonya on our phone, whatever it is, but tell us what you need to talk about.
What you need to talk about. So,
all right, today what are we talking about?
Let's get into it.
I don't know the subject today. Like Tonya is the subject picker today.
I'm the subject picker.
Okay.
But
I got notes.
the subject that I want to talk about today. Pack your bags. It's time to go.
Oh.
Seriously, pack your bags. It's time to go. When is it time to roll out?
Okay, roll out.
Yeah, when is it time to roll out? Because there's always comes a time when it's time to roll.
Yeah.
And you know that time. So
you do know.
We're going to talk about it, y'all.
All right, let's talk about it.
So and if y'all know a situation when it say, you know what, it's time to go.
You ain't got to go, but you know when you be at a party and they start flickering the lights. Like,
yes.
Like you ain't got to go home, but you got to
get up out of here. Yes. So.
All right, so pack your bags. It's time to go from like something, a lot of things.
Okay, I have a few things that we can go from.
Yeah.
So first of all, do we know how to leave a situation?
All right.
Do we know when to leave a situation?
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with the first one. I would say leaving a job. When is it time to go? I've been speaking to a lot of ladies and they are tired of their jobs.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes we have to stay until something else comes, something better comes. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of women like, look, I'm sick of it here.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Tired of being sick and tired. I'm ready to roll.
I said this before, that people on Monday mornings, more heart attacks come on Monday mornings than any other time because people rather die than go to work. They hate that job.
I really need to look that up. Now I have not.
Google.
Y'all, I can't speak about that.
Somebody right now Google. Somebody
y'all, because I can't believe nobody would rather die than not go to work.
People be stressed
now come
out
on, sis.
Like literally, somebody right now, I want you to go on Google and be like, when is the most heart attacks reported? I promise you, and copy it right here. It's say Monday.
Wow.
It's a fact. I didn't make it up.
But it's so crazy because when do you leave a job? I say when you leave a job, if you can leave, if you're in a position to leave your job, if you're just so fed up and you're in the position to leave your job, you will find your purpose.
Yeah, and find your purpose in the absence of it.
In the absence of it.
I remember working for the city of Wilmington when I first came to Delaware. I'm talking about way back. I did cable. It was one of my first jobs out of college, and I remember going in there, and there was this chart on the wall. And the chart, because I did payroll, so the chart was the chart to tell you that this was the entry position amount money you could make, and this was the most you could make, because there was a cap on government employment. There was a cap on your salary. And I used to see people, back then I was in my 20s, so you know, life was grand and big, and the world was at your fingertips. But I would see people that were working for 20, 25 years, 30 years, getting a watch, I don't know, a box of cheese or whatever. They're gonna get
at the hospital. They gave us something.
Yeah, your
5 years,
your 25th reward would be
Mm-hmm.
like frivolous nonsense. After 25 years of service, you're gonna get a clock and a watch. Are you familiar right now?
Yes.
But what would trouble me was the chart at the time. I literally was only making like $20,000, but to me, as a young girl in her 20s, that was good money. My first job.
Tell me about it.
And so the chart though started to trouble me. I had a big office, literally bigger than our studio right now. The big, beautiful window to the city. Like I was really should have been fortunate. Like I was, you know.
I was gonna say that if you had all that, you was that stuff. Because everybody don't get no big
I had a big old
and no big old office and all that kind of stuff.
Let me tell you something.
Any old dude.
When I would look at that, my desk sat right here, my wall was right there, the rest of my office was here, but I only could eye that chart all day. And every time I would see that chart, it literally told me that no matter how long I worked, I don't care if I worked for 1 year or 25 years, as I increased, the most I would ever make is $80,000. If even not in that position. In that position, maybe I would have got 60,000.
Okay.
After however long it took. If I became the mayor, maybe I could make 115,000. But that would be the most I would ever make. That started to make me sad.
I was gonna say, did that make you feel some kind of way?
It made me depressed. It made my big beautiful window look like a landing pad for my feet. Like I jumped out the window before I sit up in here for 25 years. You know, and not to say for anyone, like shout out to anybody that got that resilience to stay at any job for a long time. That's not in my DNA.
That's not
like I am an entrepreneur in my heart. That's what I'm going to do. But I stayed at that job and I would look at that chart and it was just so troubling to me. So for me, it was time to roll out. But let me tell you what happened. I met someone that owned nightclubs. This is when I first got that experience of money happening faster. I literally could make more money in a weekend than I made all month at work.
Okay.
I might have in a weekend more money than I probably would have made in 3 months at work.
Okay.
And so for me, it was time to roll from that job because I got that experience of self-employment, of money coming faster than I could imagine. It was hard work, no sleep. But it was time to go because that chart was holding me back. The opportunity wasn't there, but I had something in front of me and
well, maybe that chart did something to keep you shook up to know that that wasn't for you.
I know it wasn't.
So,
I loved it. I was feeling happy as an adult. I was feeling responsible, but the numbers wasn't working.
Well, for me, I grew up in an era and a time that if you didn't go to college or you had to work, okay, it was all about working. Nowadays, people don't stay at jobs long, especially the young generation. They get a job and they will roll out in a minute.
But see, there's jobs and not a career.
Yes.
Right?
But it was all about getting a career for me, for us. It was like, okay, this is my career. I'm going for my career right now. So you got in there, you gave it 110%. You thinking, okay, and I had a few jobs, but the last job I had, I was like, okay, y'all heard my story. I ain't gonna keep telling about my last job because it is what it is, you know. But it rolled me out. I thought I didn't roll out, it rolled me out. But it was the best thing they could do because it made me find my purpose. Yes. And I'm living in my purpose right now and I'm happy about that. Because you know how many know that sometimes you'll never leave. Yeah. Sometimes you make so many excuses and not leave. So sometimes God will say, okay, I'm gonna throw something at you. You don't have no choice but to roll out.
Now look, so God will throw it out, but some people won't. Have people ever been given an opportunity? You praying for this, praying for that, and God keep throwing the opportunity to you. He keep giving you the chance.
Throwing the ball. I'm throwing it at you.
And you're like, well,
throwing it right
I'm
back.
just waiting on God. But how many times I gotta tell you?
Yes.
It's this poem. Let me think. It's such like a little joke, and I might or may not get it right. But if I don't get it right, look it up. Y'all know what I'm saying. But it was this thing, and it was about when God gives you the opportunity, or when God saves you. But do you see it? So it was a man, and he was stranded. Maybe he was stranded on an island. And again, if I don't get it right, my bad. But he was stranded on the island, and he was waiting for God to save him, to send him, something to save him off this stranded island. Okay. So along came somebody on a rowboat. He was like, hey, you stranded, you need some help? Come on in my boat, let me save you. And he was like, no, it's okay, I'm waiting on God to save me. And you might have heard it before. And so somebody else came, that rowboat wasn't, he didn't think that was the sign that God gave him to save him off this island. So the rowboat rowed away. And so here comes somebody on a sailboat. And the sailboat came and said, hey, I'm here. Are you okay? Can I get you off this island? And he's like, no, I'm just waiting on God's gonna send me help, send me a miracle. I'm okay. And he let the sailboat go. And so a cruise ship comes to save him. Whoa. And he's like, do you want to get off the island? And he's like, no, I'm just waiting on God, to save me. And so that was a rowboat, a sailboat, and a cruise ship, and he didn't get on any. So long story short, the man dies on the island, goes to heaven. And in heaven, he says, God, I was waiting for you to save me. What happened? And he's like, what are you talking about? I sent you a rowboat? Oh, yeah. I sent you a sailboat? Yeah. I sent you a cruise ship? Well, nothing was good enough. Like, you chose.
You missed the mark. Sometimes we miss the mark.
Yeah, and again, I might have messed that joke up. Google that too. Yeah. But you get the gist of it. Like we're waiting for something that didn't come.
And we just miss the mark sometimes. Yeah. So
I think for a job, if the way I see it, I talked to my son about this recently because he's been at a job for a long time and he's so amazing and good at what it is. But when your heart starts to, when you start feeling like you don't want to be there, you're uncomfortable, you're not performing, you know, you're not doing the work that you're supposed to do, you got a problem with somebody every day, you about to go postal up in here, you know, it's time to roll.
And that's really true. Because when I worked at the hospital, I love patients and I still do love people. That will never change. But I started lacking in what I was doing. I didn't feel that energy. I was losing my mojo, and I was like, okay, it's time to roll. It's time to roll. And then that's when I thought I'd never leave the hospital. Left the hospital, went somewhere else, stayed in the healthcare field, but. You know, your inner being tell you it's time to roll because I'm not giving this 110 no more. You know.
Sometimes you know that you get that feeling, and a lot of times something could be wrong and you don't know what it is. Like something's bothering me, I don't know what it is, and you're trying to figure it out.
Yes.
And even with people, especially somebody that, there's people that work 9 to 5, and no offense to anyone that works a job, 9 to 5, a career, you've been there for a long time or a short time, but there's people that are really meant to be an entrepreneur. And so what I say to people that know it's scary to be an entrepreneur, because people will leave their job to go start a business and not realizing that you didn't start a business, you created a job for yourself.
Yes.
So now you're working harder for less money than you would have made if you would have stayed, and it makes people start to retreat to go back to work. When you gotta stick and stay, and sometimes you gotta work on your passion, your gift, right? What do you say? Your purpose. You gotta work on your purpose at night and go to your job during the day, and eventually one day the money that you need to make is going to, your purpose is going to get in, your work is going to get in the way of your purpose. And when that happens, you know that it's safe to go.
Yes.
So you either jump out there on a limb and grind it up and live off somebody.
Jump out on faith.
Grind it up, right? Live, be prepared. If you want to start your business because you're leaving a job, you're going to have to be prepared to live off someone, to get some support from someone until you can, or you're going to have to work your hustle until your job, you're going to know because your job's going to be in the way, and you're going to be missing business, and now your money going to be in the way of that job.
And I'm finding that, you know, one thing about me, I always was kind of had a hustling nature.
Yeah, you was
an entrepreneur nature.
I should tell you that song. I'm a hustler, baby.
I'm a hustler.
I just want you to know.
Yes. So that's all. I'm a hustler. It's always been in my blood. So I always worked, but I always had something else on the side. Always on the
people
side.
People are getting rich in 2023. There's no reason not to have no money or opportunity in 2023. The side hustle is real.
Side hustle is real.
It's real.
But when I did this move right here, I want everybody to know this is not a hustle.
No, this is
my passion, and this is my purpose.
Tonya,
so that's the difference right now. It's not a hustle.
I like when you post down these blessed hands. Like when I tell you, like I've seen other people get this body cavitation and the contouring and all that, and I really, literally see the results, right?
Yes.
But your passion and your desire to do it, you be smiling, and y'all never see her work that much. You be like working, smiling, y'all man, get these things. Like you'd be so happy, and everything about you is a glow.
Oh,
ever since you started that business.
Thank you. Yes.
But it's the people. Because some business isn't healing people. And this is what you're doing.
Woo! Because I always try to even in any job that I've been in, I still wanted to bless people.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can be on my table and I'm praying for you. I'm using these blessed hands on you. And that's it. But one key thing that you just said, sometimes you have to have somebody that's going to support you when you do this, because the money's not going to be rolling in. I was making great money, great money. So just see the difference in your finances. Sometimes it gets challenging and it starts making you question. So that's why I keep saying your faith is going to have to sustain you. And shout out to Greg, my husband. Shout out to Greg, because you know he's my back. He has my back.
And I see the change in him.
And you see the change in him. He has my back and he's like, babe, go ahead.
I see the
support you.
He's like, turn up. Like, babe, what we doing?
What we doing?
I like it. And it ain't nothing like when you be out in the community and they be like, I see your wife out there, she killing it. You be like, you know, you out there, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's my girl,
That's my baby.
You know,
But so that's it for us.
And you said faith. So you got to remember, you got to have faith, but you got to work, because faith without works is what? Dead. So you wouldn't have all the faith in the world. So you can't be like, oh God, I believe in you, I believe in me, but I'm just gonna get back under these covers. No, you gotta get the word.
You got to get the word.
You gotta get up earlier, you gotta go to bed later.
Yes.
You gotta get the word.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know that because you see that spark underneath me. I'm down, I'm up.
I tell you,
and I'm rolling. Sometimes I'm falling off. So my bishop will say that, you gotta stay locked in. I'm locked in. Locked in.
That's
so,
right.
all right.
I like it.
You like that?
Yes. Do your job. So come on, comment in the comments if you feel like you want to leave a job. Even if you need support in getting your business started, because that's what we do. That's what I do. So my gift is small business,
for that.
entrepreneurship, the power of thinking, like making sure that your mind is strong. Your mind is the will to do all things, like faith and believing and seeing it before it ever happens. It is a magical power. I don't want to call it magical power. It's like God's gift.
It's God's
gift is your brain to work and function.
Our thoughts is something else. Our thoughts can make magic. Our thoughts can bring things
magic
down.
makes things magical.
Magical.
Yes. And it's like makes like the things that you think, life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Yes.
It is. I believe that.
And
that's
truly
what I
believe that. So we always have to speak good.
You have to do it
over ourselves, over our business, over our children. You know, that's a whole other thing. Always speak positive and always speak life into everything you do.
You have to do it.
So that is key, ladies.
You have to do it.
So so if anybody have any questions or any comments as far as their job is concerned, drop it. Drop it in the comments. Say, I'm ready to leave. You might need INGA support because I tell you, she drops so many gems on me and helping with the business. That's Coach right over there. Coach. But yes.
Yeah. And then I like, the reason I like comments is because even though Tonya and I are talking, there's people, the world is full of amazing people. And you might have a comment or something to say, and you never know who's watching. You never know who also is in the comments that might be able to guide you or help you in a way. So don't be afraid to comment or share, ask questions, and share. Tell people you're on here right now. Come on now, everybody pause and share that we are on here sharing right now. So that they can answer. When is it time to roll out? Share with your sis, share with your boss, bestie. Share, just so we can get the word out to everyone. Because you never know, somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear it. You know, a lot of people gonna hear this. I told you I was a rapper. She swears she's a rapper, y'all. But that's a whole nother podcast. So come on, sis, we're gonna keep this thing going right along. So we talking about leaving. We talking about pack your bags, it's time to roll. So when do you know when it's time to roll? And it's time to leave your school. School. That's been a long time since Tonya been in school, y'all. But when is it time to leave your school? And I have down, when you leave a school, it opens up your mind. Now, first of all, you're going to finish high school, get your GED. We're going to get the basics out the way. We're not talking about that. Ain't nobody said your 18, your 16-year-old self, get your ass up and go to school. That's the first thing. You want to finish your basic education. Out there. Yes, let's be very clear about that. Finish school, finish your high school, get your GED. At least the basics. Yes, get the basics done. I'm talking about now you finish getting your credentials and you would like to get a hand at college. And a hand at college if you can. Or technical school. Yes, or some kind of technical school. I'm speaking on school, and I can speak on this one as my Gianna. Shout out G. She finished high school, 4.0, all A's. That's my little. Got something. She got the highest grade on something. What was it? She just did a test today. She just emailed me and her dad and said she had the highest grade in her class today. Shout out to G. She's in Winston. My TikTok shout out. She's in Winston State. Which way do it go, y'all? Winston-Salem State. She's in Winston-Salem State, you guys. But all I'm going to speak on with Gianna is, Gianna went to, her first choice was Howard University. Shout out to Howard. Shout out to Howard. I ain't taking nothing away from Howard. So many great people come from Howard. A lot of stars come from Howard, you guys. So Howard is woot woot, you know, and big ups to them. They have one of the best HBCU schools around. And we were like, go G. That was your choice. You go in there and work it, right? Well, honey, G,
it didn't work out for her. And so everything is not for everybody. So what Gianna did, she went to that school and it just wasn't given. It wasn't given.
She probably had like the hopes that she had in her head for what she saw, what she believed it would give to her.
Give to her.
Don't make it that it's not a good
It's
school.
no way am I taking away from the school itself. It just wasn't for her. And if anybody know, G was a little sheltered, a little bit. We sheltered her just a little bit. But anyway, she got there and she just wasn't happy.
Yeah.
She wasn't happy. She didn't have her mojo in there, and I seen it. And her dad's like, "You must stay to have her."
I didn't know that's right.
Her dad's like,
"Go dropping out over here."
Yeah, you staying in that school. You better do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Stay in that school. But when you see your child and you know when they just not happy, you see them getting distant a little bit and they just not sad. And as a mother, I'm like, oh no.
Yes.
What we say, pack your bags. It's time to roll. And that's how I was. And besides what her dad said, I'm like, as a mom, it's time to roll. So we did what we had to do, and she took off a semester, and then regroup, reset, rethink, get her mind on. Don't get me started with the grades.
We gonna come to a shirt near you.
Yes, that's a whole other something coming soon. But yeah, she reset, regrouped, rethought, and then she went on and applied and went to Winston-Salem State in North Carolina. And when I tell you now, I see her shine. Her light is shining. She's so happy. She found it. She found it was it for her. So if you if you're in a place in a college that just not for you, it's okay to shift gears. I think it's okay to shift gears because at least she was able to find another university. But then there's people that have gone to college and they're not getting what they expected out of that experience. Yes.
And that's okay too.
That's okay too.
Sometimes I feel like people in general, when you start something, not finishing what you started is not always a bad thing. You have to shift gears sometimes. Right? And so changing your mind is okay. Because people will see things through. What is your reason for staying? If you don't feel comfortable, if it's not for you, if you have a better opportunity, why would you stay?
Why would you stay?
And I feel like
it's not for everybody.
It isn't everything. Let me
not
tell you
for
this.
everybody.
I remember Devontae. He went. That's my youngest son. He was going to a school. He went to Catholic school a lot as an elementary school. I believed in Catholic school or private school. My goal, I wanted him to go to Wilmington Friends. I was really stuck on like Sanford, Wilmington Friends, like all of the Tally or what is it called? Caravel, all those independent parochial schools, Catholic school, parochial school. I just was like, at the time, as a proud parent, if I could afford to send my kids outside of public school, I just felt, for whatever reason, it was a better education. I felt like they would get more attention. So I would break the bank to send him to $20,000 semester schools. Couldn't afford it, but my son is going to get the best education. Well, there was a time where I transferred him from one Catholic school to another in Wilmington. And he was very young, maybe like 3rd grade, maybe. And I transferred him, and the school just wasn't working out, so I took him to another school. And he immediately became so miserable at school. Like he was going to school, and you know, as a parent, because I speak to the parents, you know that you want the best for your kids, but you gotta pay attention. If you have a kid that even at a daycare, from a daycare, because this is school, right? If you got a child and your child is happy-go-lucky and you take them to a new babysitter, a new daycare, and you find that their personality is changing, pay attention. Your baby doesn't cry when you drop them off. Now all of a sudden, every time you take them, they might be able to articulate to you what's happening. But if you see the change in them, sometimes we got to make a decision to roll out for them. So Devontae went to this school. And he, every day I would take him, and he loves school. Every day I would take him, and he would get more and more sad. He don't want to go, I don't want to go. Maybe by the 4th, maybe a week or two, maybe, we pull up to the school, proud mama, because my son going to Catholic school, and we pull up, and he's like, I just don't want to go. And I'm like, well, why? What's the matter? And he couldn't tell me. He's probably too young to explain it to me. And when I tell you, he broke out into a cry. He don't want to go. He didn't want to go. when I tell you,
You know.
parent radar was on. I don't know what was going on up in that school, but pause, stop, hold on, wait a minute. You don't have to go.
You don't have to go.
And I turned my car around and I never took him back.
See?
And I didn't call to find out what's going on with my son.
Yes.
Oh, it's Charlie. You know, John, I guess not Charlie, but is John okay? What's going on with Dave?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all don't understand. What's going on with my son in school? No. I didn't ask no questions. He's so unhappy. He never went back. I got him a different school. I'm sure by then I was tapped out, so he did go to public school.
It was right on time.
He was a very educated man. You hear me?
Yes.
And so,
But that's what I seen in G. I knew
Yeah.
that as a parent, it was time. Like, you see the signs. And that's just what we say, looking for the signs with anything with your children when they get withdrawn.
Yes.
You know,
Pay
because it'll
attention.
take something to another level
Yes.
that don't need to be.
Then we miss it, and you're making
you
them.
miss it.
You're making them
Because
do
you're making
stuff.
them do something
Yeah.
that they don't want to do.
And so sometimes rolling out, pay attention to your kids. Football practice,
Yes. Yes.
Sports. It happened with Sean in basketball. I won't even tell that story, but it got to a point where he was one of the best players in the country. When I say best, I do mean best.
6'8".
And he
What
just
is he?
Sean is 6'8".
6'8".
But
I say all
even
6'8"
then,
of
Sean
them.
was 6'5" by the time he was 12.
Wow.
Maybe 11. He was very tall.
Jesus.
Even in like kindergarten, he's about this tall in the kindergarten. He's
Yes.
always been the tallest.
Tall.
But there came a time in basketball where the love of what you're doing. He didn't love it. He was like, he felt like the coaches don't care about me. They just want me to play. And he started to change. And when is it time to roll out? Mom, I don't want to do it anymore. You don't have to do that.
Have to do it.
You said basketball not my only way to make it.
There
I said,
it is.
wait a minute, I ain't say it like that. Now I'm just kidding. But
They say you need a backup.
But he was
You
ready
need
to
a
roll
backup.
out, and I couldn't stop his. I could be like, now I'm trying to be in the NBA, sitting on the court and all that, but no, this is not for you. It's not for you.
It's not for you.
His heart, not the will of us.
Yes, and a lot of times we want this for our children when they don't want
I know what's best.
I know what's best.
We don't always know what's best, but we can be
Yes.
good listeners and help them make good decisions.
Good decisions, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna talk about it. Now this one here is another leaving.
Okay.
So this is I'm just gonna put it out there. When do you know when to leave the church?
Ooh. See, she trying to get.
I'm not trying to start anything,
Yeah.
and we might get some backlash.
No, we're gonna tell the truth.
But we're gonna tell the truth.
But these are
and
real
shame
life
the devil.
things. Like
This is
when
real
you
things,
change.
like, because people leave. They don't just
They do.
leave schools and jobs. They leave churches.
Yes.
So why do people leave churches?
Yeah.
You know. So I put leaving a church can sometimes save your soul.
Really?
I put that. I don't know what made me say that.
Yeah.
But save your soul, and I'm gonna speak for me.
Okay.
Always look. And listen, you guys, this is just us kicking back and
Yes.
talking. But for me, I grew up in a church. I went to a certain church from when I was little for years and years and years. My grandmother and I, we joined the church together. And then when my grandmother passed, I didn't feel the need to go to the church like I used to. And not that they weren't feeding me, they gave me what I needed up to that time, to me.
Okay.
To
This
me.
is good.
So, but some people leave churches because they say, oh, that pastor or that bishop,
Right.
he on something else. I don't like what he said to me.
Right. Wasn't even talking to you.
Yeah.
Now?
I don't like what he said. He talking crazy. Like, they make it personal towards someone in church instead of just saying, to me, it's like, where you going to get your soul fed?
Yes.
What's going to feed you?
Yes.
So, it's all right, I think, if you feel like, okay, that took me from point A to point B, but
Yes.
now at point B, trying to go to point C, I need something else.
Yes. So you grew. You outgrew.
So I
the
outgrew.
church.
Yeah.
So we can
sometimes outgrow things.
Outgrowing the church.
Mhm.
I have a lot to say about church, and I won't say it all, but I used to, I told you that as an accountant, I've been an accountant for over 20 years, and one of the things that I did was grow the church. Like, I believe in church, I believe in church ministry, community development corporations. The way that I look at church is, I'm big on the functioning of a church. Because it's more than just church, right?
Yes.
Whenever you have you're going through a divorce, you're going to go to church.
Yes.
Somebody died, you're going to go to
They
church.
say you go to church.
You need prayer, you're going to go to church. Something happened to your kids, you're going to church. You need some money, you're going to go to church. You need some food, you're going. Everything that you need happens at the church, especially if it's run properly, right? And so I always believe in a church that is a full community development corporation, I'm gonna call it, meaning you have your sanctuary, you have where the souls are saved, but you will teach in church, you will heal in church, you are, there's nothing wrong with having a bookstore at your church, and the daycare at your church, and a counseling ministry. Churches, hear me now, y'all better get in this DM right now. Counseling ministry is huge. When I tell you that the counseling ministry is huge, because mental health is a big deal, and self-care and women's wellness is becoming part of the churches. So your church, and I ain't trying to tell you how to run the church. When I tell you I was about to write a book called This Business of Church, that's how serious it is. Because when you go to church,
the business side of church.
I have built churches, I'm talking from $20,000 to $20 million, literally, across this whole entire country. And so I take it serious when you're talking about the church. But the reason that I believe it to be a big, working, well-oiled machine is because everything that you need is there. And if you function properly, see what happens when people want to leave the church, because how do a pastor feel that I done poured my life? Because when they get up there, they on the pulpit, they laying it down for God. They've been praying for you, consecrating and doing all the things that they need to do for you to be healed. I saved your soul, I got you right. When you walked in here, you was a broken soul. You hear me? But then you got up in here and I fed you and you doing it right and you paying your tithes and your life is popping and you gonna leave? So I'm on two sides of the story. How are you gonna feel as a pastor that you done poured all you pour into them, and now I done built you all the way up, and you got from zero to hero, and now you leaving the church because why?
But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes pastors get a bad rap. It's not about the pastor. So maybe they take it personal because they know they've been feeding you.
I feel like it's to be taken personal.
You think so?
I do.
Any pastors that's listening, drop and let us know.
How do you feel
How
when you fed a soul that leave your church? However, the pastor.
Shout out to my bishop.
Go on, Pastor. Listen, I'm just gonna say, shout out. Y'all already know I roll Pastor D's my guy, you know. But I also, like, he done a lot for me. Well, and I say that, Bishop. Come on, Bishop, because I'm locked in. She trying. We about to have a battle of the bishop. We about to have a battle of the bishop.
We gonna battle of the bishop. Shout out to my bishop. Bishop Ray Taylor.
All breaks, no gas.
Christian Fellowship.
That's right. All breaks, no gas.
There you go.
Listen, I like your bishop. You wanna know why I like him?
He's awesome.
I like him because
my bishop.
I like your church, and I ain't off this subject now. Wait a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to that.
I like your bishop because I thought when I do visit your church, I thought, listen, he had me out there I want to throw my whole pocketbook. I ain't had no Birkin bag, but child, if I had one, I was gonna throw that whole thing on the stage because he just make you feel he's so down to earth. Yeah. You know, I don't want to be like he's so down, but he's down to earth, and I felt very warm. I felt like he was talking to me. He better talk about what he's talking about. You know, and I just liked the vibe there. It was very relaxed, very chill. So shout out, like if you're looking for a church home, child, the doors of the church is open. Tell us about when you're on you guys are on Facebook, right? What's your church called? New Covenant Christian Fellowship. Guys, so I recommend.
And where we go from religion to relationship. So there it is. I'm going to talk heavy for my bishop. We go from religion to relationship. And they are him, and shout out to Pastor Donna, his lovely wife. So shout out to them, you guys, because they really are awesome. They are down to earth.
They are down to earth.
Yes.
And it's fun in there. And then his new book, guys, All Gas, No Brakes. You gotta definitely get. Somebody drop the link. Bishop, I know you watching.
Bishop, you watching.
We locked in, so I know you watching us. Drop that link in here so they can get this book.
Yes.
But
seriously,
I talk about this because so when I came to Delaware, I didn't have a church, and so Pastor D, I know he is very, I want to call him controversial in the city. Right, and he knows.
And he don't mind.
I done said it.
He don't mind.
But at the time, it's not where I fellowship too often anymore. But I got what I needed when I needed it. He was very helpful and grateful and instrumental in a lot of things that I needed to do in my life. And as a new I've been a Christian, you know, going to church and participating, but I was able to learn in a way because of his communication skills that grew me to a level. Okay. And so the reason that I could speak on, and I'm grateful to you, Pastor D. I love you, Pastor D. You know that I rocks with you. I really want to be like you, my boy, my nigga, don't get no nigga. And I ain't want to get kicked off. You know what I'm talking about? But I appreciate appreciate everything that you've done for me, the things that you do for the city. But what I feel like in the church, which is why it's important, why I said, how do a pastor feel when you roll out? Because they only grow to the level that they understand. And that's why I was so big on church ministry, because a pastor is going to pour from his heart. He is going to give.
Absolutely.
He doesn't make any money. He don't have parsonage. And a parsonage is when you keep the pastor. It's like the home for the pastor. I've worked with churches where the pastor literally lived in $1 million property on a $1 million house on the property, because they are feeding and the ministry is giving and they are growing, and they don't have to be passing out for the rainy day fund and for the church building fund and for the roof fund and for all of that. And so
my bishop don't chase you for them.
They don't have to do that. But the reason that at the church, when I say rolling out is important, is because when you run it as a full, well-oiled machine, as you grow people, we still have to give them a reason to stay. Because if I get to a certain level and I grew, but my church didn't grow, and even sometimes the church is very like, only us could do it. I don't want to promote my leaders. I only want me to be in the pulpit. I don't want you to share. I don't want you to do. I'm just going to talk about it because we're talking about it. This is what I do right here, right? And so you get to the point where now that I've grown and I'm ready to serve, I'm not allowed to serve. So now what? I'm supposed to just stay stuck in my gift. And so my pastor is offended that I left. However, I grew and I don't got nothing to do. And so since I don't have anything to do, I will take my gifts and thank you for everything you gave me. But since I can't be used, because this is what I'm for, I'm supposed to bring my gifts to the storehouse, right? I'm supposed to bring all that we collect and bring it and pour and share it around, so all of us together grow our ministry and grow our church. And if I'm talking wrong, pastor that's listening, to say something to me. But I do believe that I'm in line. I might not be on the line, but I'm in line with what I'm trying to say. So as we're leaving the church, right? Don't be offended that we left when I'm not allowed to grow. I'm going to a place where I could serve, and thank you for all that you pour into me, but now it's time to serve. Now, I'm not talking about you left the church because now you done got too big and you where you want to be, because we do that too.
We do that too. And with me, I grew up in Union Baptist. Shout out to Union Baptist as a little girl, and under Reverend Herring. So Reverend Herring passed away, so then the church had to vote someone in. So maybe that's where it shifted for me. Because I was so used to Reverend Herring's teaching.
The new people.
And then when they brought somebody in,
nobody liked the new people.
New in, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, all these different rules, all this different. But you have to have, you know,
we need to have a whole segment about let's talk about church.
Let's talk about that. We can go on and on with this.
I do want to say two things. The first thing is Bishop Aretha Morton.
Ooh!
God bless the soul of this awesome and amazing and honorable, when I do say honorable woman, she is due all of the glory and all of the praise and all of the thanks for the tremendous amount of work that she has done in the community. I wouldn't even say in the community, it's Wilmington, Delaware, but around the country.
Touched so many lives. She was a mother to a lot of people.
A lot of people.
A lot of people. Big ups to her.
Warm, kind, firm.
Kept it real.
Yes, but shout out to her. And then to the people, because people do leave church. I know we got all into, I done talked about this $1 million church. Any church need $1 million, holler at me. I'm just kidding. But anyway, that's how I was feeling, right? But it's people that do leave the church because they truly have been hurt. By leaders in the church. By people in the church. I've been in a church where when I first came around certain church, when you first come, you're the young, attractive woman. Nobody wants you. They don't like the new. It's hard for the new person in the church, honey. And if you're in that church and they looking at you, gritting on you, they don't want you. They can come and cover up your legs. Like, you come as you are. If my shirt was too, talk to me. Explain to me.
Well, you can't go into church.
I know you can't go to church. Hoochie-fied, right? But hear me out. It's 2023, 2022. So when a young girl do come to church, don't make her feel uncomfortable, but find a woman that could gracefully explain to the young lady, because if you say it in the wrong way, she's not coming back. Because I came as I am with my broken soul, but you done made me feel like the whole of the town, and I ain't coming back. So when I say that people leave the church, it's so many reasons, not just the pastor.
Oh,
but
yeah.
what about the people? What about the kindness? What about the love in the community?
The inviting, like making you feel warm and inviting.
Talk about it. What about the predators? I ain't even going to look at the camera when I say that. But what about the predators in the church when I came and I was broken and you kind of tell me that the only way I could be all right is if I do all right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So it's reasons to leave the church. That's a whole nother subject. Don't make
That's
me
a
go
whole
on.
nother podcast.
People leave.
Sis,
when it's time to leave.
When it's time to roll.
You know when it's time to
they
leave.
roll. You
Did we
know
go
when
off?
it's time to
Am
leave.
I'm a sensitive. Am I sensitive?
Yes, look, she done set up, and look, she's about to go off like she ready to have the
It's
service
just
up
that
in
church
here.
is serious to me, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's
people-
no joke. I don't play about church
Yes,
and all that.
yes.
So,
And
yeah.
so it's good reason to stay.
Yes.
But you got to, when it's time to roll, it's time to roll. If I took that too far, I do apologize to people, but I'll be for real about, don't play with people's
And these
lives,
are just
man.
our thoughts
They
and
is mad.
sharing
Yeah,
some
I'm gonna get
experience.
going
and-
off.
But tell us, but you know, that's what we're here for. So,
Listen,
come on.
that's a whole
That's a whole nother
subject.
podcast.
The podcast is going to be called "Let the Church Say Amen." Okay.
What?
When we do that.
When we do that.
Let the church say amen.
Oh, we inviting everybody.
Yes.
All the pastors.
Oh, I want to go. Yes.
Yes. Any old deal. We gonna move right
Girl,
along.
I'm in trouble now.
We gonna move right along. So, when do you leave a friendship? And I have my little note. Read it. Leaving a friendship teaches you how to dine alone. That's just my little take.
I like
Sometimes, when do you leave a friendship? Do you leave a friendship?
it. Well, I think people grow up.
It's people grow, people outgrow,
grow. They change.
people change.
They don't. I feel like friendship is all about understanding, all about communication. It's all about. It's a two-way street. I'm not just your friend, and you halfway my friend, but
Yes.
we complement each other.
Yes.
We know what we do for. I know why I'm part of your life, and I add value to your life. You add value
Yes.
to mine.
Yes.
So I would say I would leave a friendship when. It's all given and it's all give and it's getting taken away. I wanted to say that in a fancy way, but I
So
can't get it.
all so
take,
you're
no
saying
give.
all get
All take, no give.
and no give.
Yeah, like you're
so
giving,
it's one sided.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
only calling you. I'm
Yeah.
only talking to you.
Yes.
I'm only or the person even on the other side. When people are just not good for
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
It's not clicking. Friendships click.
Friendship.
We
is.
have a good time.
Friendship is not hard.
It isn't.
It's not hard.
It isn't.
Nope. Friendship
not
click.
supposed to be.
Now, not that you're not going to have your moments.
Yes.
You might bump heads here and there.
Yes.
You can agree to disagree.
We do.
You know. I ain't Inga. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
We disagree.
You know, we disagree.
And I don't think we disagree, but one of the things I love about Tonya and me is that when we do not agree, we have sort of like the same attitude about it. Like, all right, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And one of us, usually me, because I'm the nice one. I'm just kidding. She's nice too.
Oh.
But I usually will be like, I don't care. So let me say this in a way. It isn't that I don't care when she's rubbed the wrong way, but I don't sweat it. I'd be like, I know that when you rub somebody the wrong way. I know I done rubbed Tanya the wrong way. And when I say I don't care, it'd be like, so I don't care.
Yeah,
what
she's
you
like,
doing?
I don't care. And
What
I'm
you
just
doing?
like, and she knows she can feel my heat.
Yeah.
She can feel it over the phone. Like,
I'd be like, what you
"Ooh."
cook? What did you cook
Yeah,
today?
she just, girl.
Because we can really, when everybody knows their personality,
Yes.
and we're both pretty firm, both pretty straight up.
Straight up,
and
yes.
Tanya's like me. She's gonna, instead of it becoming an argument,
Yeah.
that's
We ain't
fine.
gonna let it
She
linger.
didn't say nothing. And now
We ain't
listen,
gonna let it linger. We ain't gonna let it boil.
If you watching and Tanya,
Yeah. Yeah.
she's
But I didn't used to always be that way. I used to be like, what's wrong? What's going on?
Yeah.
Making it so big. As you grow and as you mature,
Yes.
some things you just don't sweat. Some things is not even worth arguing and going through, making things complicated in your friendship. I just want to love you. I want to just have fun with you. I want to be here if you need me. A shoulder to cry on if you need to.
Yes.
I just want to be that person for you, and vice versa.
I want to be a good
lend
friend.
an ear. I want to be a
Yes.
good friend, and I think I'm a good friend.
You are a good friend.
I think I'm a good friend.
I think that
and if
you
I'm
are-
not,
you have a
for
good
my
friend.
friends, if y'all don't think so,
They
now
think so. Don't
don't
nobody
knock
say.
me upside the
They
head.
ain't got
but
nothing
you
bad to
know.
say about Miss.
But-
Now I want y'all to type in the comments right now. I ain't got nothing to say bad about Tanya. Everybody that's Tanya's friend that's listening right now, right right now. I want you
My
to type,
friends know that I love them, and
love
they
you, Tonya.
know if I did something, then I tried to, because sometimes you could say something and not realize that you didn't said something wrong
I've been
and hurt
guilty of
someone's
that.
feelings. So you have to backtrack a little bit and just say, if let's talk about it, or I apologize,
Yes.
and let's move on. We ain't going to drown in it. We ain't going to keep on soaking in it.
I think what's hard. I think what's hard in friendship is as you start to elevate. So in friendships, I feel like people have to understand that life, that's what you always tell me.
I say life be life.
Life be life.
Life be
And so
life.
as you're working and growing, and someone been your friend for a long, long time, people evolve and change. And as you grow and change, you do have to know sometimes when to let go, because there can be opportunities where the friendship, I don't want to say it's not serving you, but it's not, it is not conducive to what you're doing in your life. We don't do the same things anymore. If you are a drinker, or we was partying and we don't party no more, but you still party, I don't party no more. I have changed my life. I'm doing other things. You might be working, you might be married, you might got single friends, and it's just not meshy anymore. And just
that happened to me once with a good friend of mine when I got married. Kind of fell back, and I'm like, I'm still your friend. I don't care if I'm married.
But you gotta speak up, because people do that.
I think that person probably thought they were just respecting that, but
they
no,
do.
we cool.
But you have to step up. I think
cool.
people do that.
When I'm cool.
That has happened to me too. Where they be like, well, I didn't invite you because I thought, don't think for your friends, right? When is it time to leave a friendship? I feel like it's time to leave a friendship. I don't have to talk about when somebody just darn right don't mean you're no good. Leave. And stop second guessing yourself. You know what's not good. If it's not good for you, it's not good for you. Because we talk our love and our heart and our history, like our long-standing time, it causes you to second guess what you know is real. When it's real, it's real. When somebody show you who they are, believe it.
Believe them.
Don't try to hold on to what's not to be held on to, because then you give people the right to do you any kind of way. We teach people how to treat us.
We teach people how to treat us.
Yes. And so when you are having a friendship, if the friendship is not beneficial to both of you, if you're doing more, and and when taking advantage of people, if you know you're not somebody's friend, don't be their friend. Don't play like that.
Yes.
I'm not, I know I don't mess with you like that.
Yes.
But I'm still talking to you. That's not right.
But you absolutely right about that, Inga. But at the same instance, you have people that you grew up with.
You do.
You have your childhood friends.
You do.
Now, I had a lot of childhood friends, but half of them we haven't kept in contact from childhood on up. A lot of them I have. Shout out Belinda, me and her childhood friends. But we grew up, we still stay in contact. But some of them you may not have stayed in contact with, but if you see them, it's all love.
Like nothing never happened.
Like nothing happened.
Because you don't have to talk every day.
You don't have to talk every day to be friends.
Yes.
You don't. And me and Bonnie, we might say that. That's another friend. I'll shout out Bonnie.
Yes.
We might say, in a minute, I don't have to talk to you every day
to know that I'm your friend.
I'm your friend, and I still love you.
Be at? Right there.
Right there.
If they call screaming, crying for help, where are you going to be?
Right there.
If they're in the gym, where are you going to be?
Right there.
And so I feel like as you grow, life be life, and like Tonya always tells me, and we don't always have to, like we said, talk all the time to be friends.
Yes.
But you want to participate. I have a friend, a good friend in Maryland, Tori, my friend Tori, and Tori is Tori is like the queen of intentional. And so she says to me, she literally talks, and she said that I require, my other friend Bahira, and so me, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that quite a few of my friends have said this to me, so this is a good moment for us. And my friend Bahira said it, Tori said it. When you get busy, people like being in relationship with you, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friend relationship, but they want to participate in your life. But you're so busy that you're not calling, you're not checking in, you're not saying hello, you're truthfully not being a friend. Your life has gotten so much in the way that you forget about the small things that matter. And I'm not saying that your friends are small, but we forget about time spent. Right. Acknowledging that I'm your friend, checking on my mama, checking on my kids. Yes. How am I doing? I'm calling you, you're not texting me back. Yes. That doesn't make you not a good friend. Yes. But my friend Tori says to me that I require more from you as a friend. My friend Bahira said the same thing to me. I require more from you as a friend. And
how did it make you feel?
It made me feel responsible.
And they hold you accountable.
If we're going to continue to be friends, I need you to participate. And so I am the kind of person that I literally could get quiet for months and it not faze me one bit. And I never looked up. And it doesn't mean that I don't care. It just means that I've been so consumed in my own business, that I haven't checked on my friend.
I try not to get that consumed. Like, I do this thing every morning. I shoot scriptures. I shoot little things to all my friends and my family. Shout out to my cousin. Boo. No,
and my
me and her like friends, cousin friends.
Cousin friends, okay.
Cousin friends. So I'm not. When I shout out a friend, me and Boo are like cousins. Friends, sister friends.
Yes.
And I have a lot of sister friends.
Yes.
But I try to be a little consistent, just to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. After I read my scripture, do my little meditation, do my scripture, I shoot a few out and if somebody drops in my spirit, that's another thing. When somebody drops in your spirit, sometimes it's for a reason. So, okay, this person's really on my heart. So let me just send something and say, so little scripture, little word, good morning, have a blessed day, love you, that type of thing. And I try to keep that little communication going. And sometimes I can get a little like, oh, well, I don't get it back sometimes. But I can't get caught up in that. I have to do what God places in my heart to do.
You don't gotta get it back.
Because I'm not doing it to get acknowledgement from it. I'm doing it because this is in my heart. And this is what I feel. The kindness of, this is what I feel in my heart. I want to do.
But the universe
I don't need to do what I want to do.
You are going to always get back what you give. Maybe you don't get what you give. And I always say, what you're looking for is always looking for you.
That's
right.
You always
it's
say
true.
That.
If you need it, knock. I cannot get enough of knock and the door. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. Ask and it shall be given to you. Press down, run and overtake. Listen, I be believing in this, and so it doesn't matter how you do it. If that person, because I am a good, wonderful person. Like I know I got a good heart.
Yes.
I have been. The reason I know I have a good heart is because it has been my best gift and my worst nightmare. That's my heart.
Woo woo.
Right.
That's me too.
And so
I lead with this heart.
Yeah.
I know my heart is good. And when you know your heart is good, a lot of things. That might be when things. It shakes some friendships up because you know when you know when you know I know that my heart is good and you know I wouldn't come from a bad place with you.
So here's the thing. We say that you know I wouldn't come from a bad place with you, but you don't know the mental state of other people and they don't know. Like I know I'm coming from a good place. Literally, I had a conversation yesterday and I shared that with you. Literally, the moment the issue that we had as friends. The moment that was a clash for us was taken in offense. It was, from my side, in my perception, it was the greatest expression of love I had ever had for this person.
Okay.
But it wasn't received that way. It was completely total opposite, that they thought that I was totally a terrible, effed up individual. And it blew me back. Wow. But I have to realize that our perception is our reality, and so it's not what I think, is how they received it. Yes,
and that's what you have to check yourself a little bit, because you might know you wasn't coming from a bad place, but the way they perceive it.
Yes, but I didn't communicate it, because a lot of times we be in our head. Like in my head, this is what was happening. Yeah, but you ain't say that. You didn't never say that to me, Tonya. Right. Or you didn't say that to me, Inga. I know, but I was thinking it, right? Yes. But what I learned from Tori and Bahira and my friend Monique was that I do get consumed in my life. It isn't that I push, so in my heart, I'm not pushing them aside. I'm just so busy trying to, I work to achieve so that I can share. Yes. And so I hustle hard because when I finally get what I was trying to get, now I could come back and get and do all the stuff that I want to do. I literally have charts of gifts and charts of things that I want to do. But along the way, what if I'm working, hustling, and nobody knows it? I'm in my own head. And what kind of friend am I being if I have not articulated that to them? So these people these friends feel left out. So, but the point of it is, when do you leave a friendship? I feel like you leave a friendship when you know that it's not working out. You know that this person doesn't have your best interest. You have to continue over and over to talk and get and push and pull. And you have outgrown. Yes. And it's time that, with all due love and respect,
Yes.
I'm moving on.
Would you say it has gotten toxic? Or no, that's not really the right word for it.
For which
for
friendships? Friendships, they do get
They
toxic.
can get toxic.
I have a friend.
When it's just crushing your peace
Yes.
and toxicity.
I think that we don't leave because of fear, toxicity. I think
That's it.
I don't even know if that's the word, but I use it.
But we use it
But
today.
I feel like when I don't think that people have to ask when to move on. I think we know.
Yes.
So it isn't that we're asking when do you move on, when you're going to choose to move on.
Yes.
Because everything that we do is a decision, a choice that we make every second of our life.
Yes.
Every day, every thought, every motion is a choice that we made. And so I don't gotta tell you. You know when you came to me on the phone to be like, 'cause such and such did whatever. And what you think? No, it's not what I think. What you know? You know.
What
You don't.
you
You just
know.
want me to co-sign what you're talking about.
Yes.
But why you not doing what you need to do for yourself?
Right.
I literally had a video last week. Like we're waiting for life to do us right, but when are we gonna do ourselves right?
Good question.
So we know when we're going to leave.
Good
you know,
question.
no one has to tell us when it's time to leave a friendship. You know when that friendship becomes a detriment to you. When that person don't mean you no good. When you find that it's just not a mutual understanding or communication anymore.
Yes. If it's backbiting.
That's
That
not your
type of thing.
friend. And some people not your friend. You know your grandma tell you that everybody's not your friend.
Oh,
Y'all need to stop
Lord.
that. Stop it right now. Everybody's not your friend. And so if I gotta bring it up, everybody not your sis, right? You know that. So these are words that we comfortable with saying. When I was younger,
I use sis a lot lately.
Yes.
And it's just a thing of, not that I think you my sis,
It's
and
a
everybody's not your sis.
It's like, hey
just
girl
kinda-
now at this point.
It's like, hey girl, hey. Hey sis.
Yes. I done been slapped upside my head numerous times for calling somebody that my friend. I done got in trouble years ago as a young girl with my grandmother bringing my friend to my house. You done why you gonna bring them strangers here that is not your friend?
And so, grandma's was good for that.
Everybody not your friend.
Everybody's not your friend, Tonya.
So when do you let a friend go?
Say it.
They wasn't even your friend in the first place, but you know. We can't deny that we like the things that we get, negative or not. Sometimes you like being around somebody that you know is not your friend, that is toxic for you, that don't mean you know earthly good, but you like it because you're having a good time in the moment. But that don't mean that they're not your friend.
Right.
You know that I can't trust you when I look at you. When I turn my back, I can't trust you with my eyes open or closed. But we friends.
But we friends.
Stop this. You know.
Stop the madness.
They know.
Stop the madness. Okay, now we just going.
I'm over here like next.
I'm great. Bring it on home here.
We better bring it home.
I'm about to bring it on home because we can talk forever. So now, when do you know when to leave a relationship? And I mean your boo.
I feel like I'm supposed to do
Your
stuff
man.
and walk off.
And I always put my little notes next to it. Leaving a relationship can save your life.
It will.
Leaving a relationship can save your life, believe it or not.
It can.
It can. And when I'm talking relationships, them relationships with someone you've been in, man with woman, woman with man, whatever relationship.
Sometimes.
When you in
Toxic relationship.
toxic relationship.
Right? I feel like a lot of times we don't leave relationships because we're lazy. You don't want to try. But I'm the queen of being in a relationship that's no good for me now. I'm grateful for my relationship. Shout out to you, Eric. You already know every show. Shout out to Boo Bear.
Shout out
to Boo Bear. But I feel like there's so many reasons that not to have left relationships. I didn't leave because I had an excuse one time where I just was trying to get my money back. Like the person owed me money.
And that's
money.
deep.
I want my money.
You want your money.
I'm not rolling out till I get my
Till
money.
you get your
But
money.
I realized one day I'm never going to get it. But I wasn't leaving till I got it. We're not even in a relationship. I'm just here until I get it.
Well, I know you can stay in a relationship and not leave for the children.
For the children.
You can stay in a relationship
That was
in
old
a minute.
school.
That's
My grandmother did that.
old school
Yes,
saying.
when my youngest get 18, then I'm going to leave. We're going to stay together till the kids is grown.
Yeah.
Right? That's misery.
That is miserable.
It is miserable.
Yeah,
You
and
sacrifice
that is old school.
So do you sacrifice yourself for the point? Because to have to do that, we stay or they stay. People stay for the sake of the kids, but don't realize the whole time they're hurting the kids.
They're hurting them because the kids know.
And if you ask the kids, years later they say, I wish they would have left.
I wish you would have. been left.
Because it was hurtful to watch.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? But people stay. Why do we stay?
Why do we stay?
I think it's the same thing like in relationship. Like we stay for so many reasons. We stay because we don't want to try again. A lot of women, I have thought this.
Ooh.
Like people, especially men. Have you ever seen a man get heartbroken or about to break up and they be like, if this don't work out, I ain't never doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
So they stay because they don't want to put that effort in. They don't want to
put that effort into someone else. Or people say, look, I didn't put too much in here.
It's cheaper to keep her.
It's cheaper to keep her.
Right?
Yes.
I feel like it's laziness. Like you don't want to do the work. The effort of new relationship is not easy. Getting to know people.
It's not.
I'll tell you this was what I say about. I'm not a person that it's not too many people that could ever say that I said I am in love with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got love, I love you, or in love with you. To me, this is just to me.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the act of being in love is I have united my being to yours, and we're not even married, but I did all the married stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I literally like put my love to me, because love is like a deep, emotional. Gut feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't never have the chance to be feeling like that. I felt like if I be in love and we break up, then my son's gonna see me crying and dragging the ground. And I broke up. So how many times can I realistically be loving somebody to break up to do it again? So I didn't allow myself to do that. And I always said to myself, and this is just relationship state, because I've been in relationships like multiple. Remember I said domestic violence was big to me because people do attach to me in that way, and I didn't attach back, but I played the part.
Yes.
Right? So we're in this relationship and I'm not for real, but they all the way for real. When they find out I'm not for real, they trying to knock me out. You know? And so I had to learn that. But I realized that when you be in a relationship, I always said that I can't be fully in love until I get married. And I feel like for whatever reason, and I don't have a reason that I can explain, but I feel like the presence of God when I say this, that God won't allow me to release my heart in a certain way until I'm married. Because and the reason I've never been married is because I don't want to, that's not something, don't play with it. I'm not going to play with that because this is, I feel like marriage is to be everlasting and forever, and I don't want to have that one exercise of all this love. And I don't, it doesn't work out, and then I got to do it again, and I don't feel built like that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
and so I hadn't ever attached to anybody before Martin, I'll say. I hadn't ever attached to anybody in that capacity because I already have kids. I already live together. I'm not a virgin. You know, so I've done all the together things, but the one thing I got left that my husband don't ever got to share is that I love them. You know? And so being in relationships and leaving relationships when people stay, if they love it at that capacity that I understand, I could see how hard it is to leave.
Yes. And it's like, okay, when do you pack your bags and leave? You're scared.
Yes.
You're scared to leave.
Yes.
You have all these thoughts running across your mind. You know that this relationship is not good for you, but it's convenient.
Yes.
You know.
I feel like if you unhappy, if you crying yourself to sleep, if you checking for the phone.
Yes.
See, I always tell my blueberry. My blueberry, this is what I call it. So if I call you and check on you, hi, what you doing? How's your day? How's it going? Then I'm checking on you, right? But if I call you, where you at? What you doing? What's going on? I'm trying to peek in your background, see where you at. See, now I'm checking for you. So is you checking on me, or if you checking for me, right? So if you checking on your relationship, that's okay. But if you checking for him and you checking for him a little too much, it's time to go.
It's time to roll.
Now, women know this. When you got that feeling and you're in a relationship, guys too. I don't know if guys got it like the women got it, but when you be like, something not right, I think you know what I'm saying? He might have dipped out on me. You late. You missed it, sis. You missed it, sis. Now you're just getting that feeling, right? Your intuition.
No, women's intuition is real.
When it
you know when something's not right. I don't know if you're gonna turn a blind eye, but you in your gut, you know that okay, they creeping, they moving different.
I got a feeling.
They moving different.
Now you got that. That's a church. That was
you know,
Sundays ago.
2 Sundays ago. Shout out to Bishop.
No, listen.
They moving different.
You know that when you say, because this is just like. like, when do you leave a relationship? If I'm checking for you, and I'm checking for you all the time, and I know that something's not right, it's in my spirit. Now I'm looking, I'm all in your pockets. I ain't saying this because I ever done it. I'm just saying because I heard about it. You know what I'm saying? But they all in your pocket, and they all like checking for you.
But they don't trust you.
You know, you in the
It's a
car,
trust-
you
it's a
looking, you
trust
trying
issue.
to see. When you can't trust somebody,
trust issue.
how you say you love somebody and you don't trust them? Because the last time I understood it, you can't love what you don't trust. How do you love somebody? This is just deep for me because love to me is a real thing. It's a deep thing.
Yes.
It's to love to me. I keep saying it to me because I know love for people. You literally got to give up your soul. Or if I'm going to love, I would like love to be that deep for me, right? How can I even get to the point of loving a person in that way that I don't even trust? I can't
Yes,
trust
you
you
can't
enough
trust you.
to do that.
Yes.
And I don't want people to be losing their self in love, but if you've lost yourself in love,
If you've
you've lost
lost
yourself in
love,
relationship,
in relationship.
you know, it's either time to find yourself, communicate with your
Yes.
spouse. But if all you got is hinged on a relationship and your only existence is because of the validation of another person, it's time not
Time
only
to
to
roll.
leave that relationship, it's time to check yourself.
Don't you say time to pack your bags and roll out? I could remember someone in a relationship, and these years back, as y'all know, I've been married for 21 years, and Greg
That's
knows, but he
a
knew I was talking about this today. He was like, "How you know?"
Yeah, he did say
yeah,
that.
he was like, "How you know? You don't know nothing about that," but I do, because you wasn't the first one I was with. Hello, you know. So I've
But
had
you know about
a few
leaving.
relationships, and I know. For sometimes in a relationship, when I was coming home and my stomach starting to hurt as I put the key through the door,
Something's not right. You're
something's not
uncomfortable.
right. I'm uncomfortable. I don't even really want to go home.
You gotta pay attention.
I want to turn around and I want to get a
Yes,
blank
but
up
we have
out
so
of
many
here.
reasons to
You
stay.
know. So what? And then, but you still stay. You try and make it work. Then it's just a lot
Yeah.
to go with that. But when you know somebody is verbally abusing
Come on
you,
now, I was about to
they
say, talk about
physically
it.
abusing you, they talk down to you, they just not treating you right. It's not you can't do nothing right. Everything you do, it's a problem.
Yes. Have you ever been, this is domestic violence, you know that's like my core right there, like my platform.
I know that shit.
And if in a relationship, when it's time to leave a romantic relationship, we're talking about,
Yes.
when a man put their hands on you, is, in my experience, and I say this with, I don't even want to say all due respect, with probably no respect. In my experience, if a man have the audacity to put his hands on you, that a man that told you to love, that he loved you on top of that, puts his hands on you in any way, he pushed you, he pulled you, he snatched your wig off, whatever it is, because that's abuse too, you snatch your wig off the mouth. But if somebody do that to you, it is time to leave.
Yes.
I don't see too many experiences, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, because I have heard stories where there was domestic violence and things, maybe they grow up, it mellowed out, they stopped doing it.
Yes.
But if
They
a
had
man,
counseling, you can get
if-
counseling
yes,
and maybe
yes.
help that, but
If a
it's still
person
so
is doing
hard
that-
because I've had a person like once they put their hand on you, sometimes they could continue unless they get some help or realize what they have and
Yes.
change their ways. But it's a
Yeah.
muggy when somebody's going upside your head. Now,
it
come on.
becomes a matter of self-worth. It
Self-worth.
becomes a matter of
Woo! And it'll
I-
make you question your self-worth.
Yes.
Like, why am I going through this?
But
What's wrong with
but
me?
then those thoughts, them self-sabotaging thoughts come back. That is the first thing. What's wrong with
What's
me?
wrong with
What's
me?
wrong with him?
What's wrong? Not what's
Or
wrong
then
with
because
me.
we got relationships. Because I believe what I understand and what I heard. What I don't know if I read it, but I have heard it that same-sex relationships are more abusive than heterosexual relationships. That there's more domestic violence in women and men,
Yes,
same sex.
yes.
There's even more domestic violence.
I don't know the statistics on that, and
I don't know
I don't
either,
know
but
personally. I don't know.
I've
But
heard
if
that
anybody
it's
have
even
any
worse.
comments about it,
Yes.
or you're in a relationship yourself, and you
Yes.
know, or you used to be in one that
Yes.
was like that, drop us something.
Talk to us
Talk
about
to
it.
us.
But I feel like when someone gets to the point that if I love someone or something, then I'm not going to hurt you.
Yes.
I'm not going to hurt you emotionally,
Yes.
physically, mentally,
Yes.
physically. I'm not gonna put my hands. I'm not gonna be beating up on you.
Yes.
And talking down to
Yes.
you, because it's not always a punch. Sometimes it's the words that last forever and ever, and
Yes.
you recalling and you hearing the things that this person say to you. Like, it is time to leave. And once again, I feel like you don't have to be told when it's time to leave. You have to realize that you know, but what you want to do about it.
All right, I hear you. And we talk about verbal abuse, we talk about physical abuse, but sometimes you just in a heated argument and y'all's talk.
Yeah.
You talking, you talk, he talking, y'all talk, it's talk.
Right.
And I don't call that verbal abuse. Look, we both mad.
I'ma
We
tell you
mad
this.
as hell. Let's keep it real. And we just,
But when you
we
mad as
at
hell,
it.
and
We
all
at
that,
it.
so this is a lack of communication, right?
Okay.
But here's the point: when you mad as hell, you don't care.
We're not gonna sit there.
All right, but hear me out.
Johnny,
I know.
I just feel some kind of way. No,
Right.
Johnny,
Right, but here's what it is.
Straight
Here's
up.
what it is.
You
Yeah,
did
that's the word right there.
And
It's
I'm mad. Straight up.
Okay, but wait, it's all the stuff that you've been holding in that you really want to say.
Not necessarily.
I don't
Something could
know
have just
about that.
happened. Not
I don't know about
necessarily.
that.
Because I ain't in the business of holding too much
But
stuff
we're not
in
in the
these
business
days.
of holding it up. But in an argument, you free. It's almost like a intoxication. When you get to the point that somebody done made you blow your head gasket, and them words is coming out.
can't
You
make
mean
you blow-
I didn't
Yo.
mean what I said. I meant what I said in that moment.
In that moment. But can you take it back?
I ain't saying you a real live nuck noodle. That's my cuss word for the YouTube. A nuck noodle. Now you can make a nuck noodle whatever you want to make it.
Yes.
But I ain't saying that you a real live nuck noodle for real.
Real.
But when I was mad at you, you was all
You
of
was
that.
all that. And you throw some words out there. Now, come on. Anybody that's in a relationship, you know when somebody then took you there, and you
Right.
gonna go there, and I don't care
And then you lose
how
all
sweet
your
you are,
all
how
your
nice you
reputation.
are, somebody can catch it. Somebody
gonna
can
get
get,
it.
and they gonna get it.
Yes.
They gonna get it, and we gonna get
It's
it.
called
But
lip
now,
boxing.
but at that time, it's time to come back to the table. Somebody's gonna have to forget.
Well, I'll tell you, Marty is the good one for
We gonna
that.
have to say, I'm sorry, I did not mean to say, or I shouldn't have said it like that.
Yeah.
But in that moment, we gonna keep it real. Everybody not walking around, just let's talk.
No,
we're not
but
just
you
talking.
do have to. I feel my grandmother always used to say, "Do not go to bed. Don't let the
Don't-
sun set
Yes,
angry." Because you'll
That's
never
true.
know, right?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
Blueberry is good at, like, when we get into we be having arguments that can't be settled. We're not gonna call it argument. We're gonna call it conversations with no
Conversation.
resolution. When we have these types of conversations, I be
She's
the
so
one.
politically
I be
correct, you
getting,
guys.
when I say I be getting it up, I be telling my Blueberry one single thing he gonna learn today. But he don't really argue back with me, because when I be putting them words together, them words be coming out. But he'll just be like,
Oh, that's good. Cause honey, let me tell you something, Greg. When I hit
No,
them words,
he
Greg,
don't.
hit them
He
words
don't.
right back with
Cause
me.
he doesn't, he be trying, but I be poor Blueberry be taking advantage of. But he be trying to get the words out, and he'll just shake his head, but he don't let me go to bed with it. He be like, now about what you said.
Okay, let's come back to the table about that.
Yes, but I heard all that you was talking. Cause I heard everything you said. I ain't say anything, but everything you said I heard. So you ready to talk about it?
Yes.
He don't interact. He don't get into the lip box with me, because
He don't get into
I'm the champion of the lip box
The
ring.
champion,
You know what I'm saying? But when it's time to talk about it, he really wants to get that resolution and talk about it.
Yes.
And I'm sure we've had conversations, heated disagreements that we can't resolve, and we probably was like, I'm going to break up today. But
Yeah.
it
You
wasn't
think
a move
you
where we
hit
should
this-
have.
You know what? I'm done with this joke.
Yeah. So when is it
You
time
know,
to walk away?
but when
It's
is it
walk
time to
away.
roll?
You know when.
You know when.
You know
Your
when.
heart gonna tell you when it's time to roll.
Not even your heart, your body.
Your body.
You know. Your soul, your spirit.
soul,
is
your
gonna
spirit.
tell you.
Oh, I heard somebody say when a man or a woman, whatever relationship you're in, when they break your spirit down, when they break you down,
You know.
your spirit, that's it.
But the other person knows it too.
Yeah.
You know when
Yeah.
you
And you can have
when you
arguments all day,
When
but-
you see the eyes, when you see the shift in a
Yes.
person's eyes, you know that you could look at someone and know that there ain't no
You know.
love here. Love don't live here no more.
Yes.
And you know that.
You know it.
You know that. And this is where life becomes dangerous for people.
Yes.
Because when you're being in a relationship, this is why I take relationships serious, for real. When you're being in a relationship and you see the disconnection, people, this is why your arguments get worse. People treat you any kind of way. Because now I don't know how to ask you to leave. You haven't left. So the only way you're going to leave now, I got to talk to you crazy. And now maybe you're going to get it. Because I don't really got the guts or the heart to tell you to just go ahead. But since you going to stay, then it is what it is.
So you feel as though the words start getting
I feel like it
deeper.
gets,
The words start
even
cutting
more
deeper.
toxic.
It's more
Because
toxic.
Now,
like I said, you can have an argument, but that don't mean it's time to go. You just have disagreements.
But when it's bad, when it's to the point where I told you in every way, you can't make nothing nice. You can't cook me nothing. You can't sex me down. You can't do nothing to me. You know this over.
Everything you do,
it's done.
It's done. When everything you do is a problem. Everything. What you just said, you can't sex
I remember being in a relationship where
you can't clean, you can't
it's nothing you can do. Like, why are you here? Matter of fact, you know, I remember this, and now this will be my last point, but I remember even when you be in a relationship and you like the person, but you're trying. It's so much effort. You ever be with someone in a relationship, or dating or whatever you call it, but you truly are uncomfortable, but you really like them, but you can't find a moment of comfort. And everybody might not be like this. Maybe it's just me. But I remember dating someone that I actually was attracted to, I guess. But I just couldn't, I was always trying. I was never calm and settled. I always was putting forth an effort to make it nice, putting forth an effort to have a good time, putting forth an effort to have a conversation, but it was never where I was just happy and relaxed. It was just,
Well, okay, well then that's when it's a two-way street. It shouldn't be just you putting in the effort.
Yeah, but they might not have liked me.
But that's what I'm saying.
You know?
They might not have, so.
They didn't tell me.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
do you see me? I'm trying over here.
Yeah, but when you be in a relationship and you just know that the person not giving you no energy.
Yes.
You know.
Big energy.
You know that. You know
yes.
that.
Divine energy. Good energy.
Man, this was a good conversation.
This was good. I know my next little note. I know we over it.
Anything else?
We covered everything. We covered
There's more.
job, school, church, friendship, relationship. But if you do leave a relationship, just know that God will provide for you in ways that you cannot. When you leave anything, you're not alone.
No, you're not.
God will provide for you in ways that you couldn't even imagine.
This is true.
So
He'll always make a way.
He always makes a way.
This is true.
When
you leave a relationship, this is church. I know your bishop has told you. I heard this in church. But how can you get what you're supposed to have when you're tolerating what's in the way? It's always blocking.
Yes.
Another thing that I believe is and I don't believe that God is ever going to allow I don't feel like a good person can be connected. You know, they call it equally yoked. I don't believe that a good person, that God will allow terrible things to connect to that person without protecting them. It's not. I haven't ever seen it, and I feel like we talked about the boat and the signs and a way out. I feel like there's going to always be a way out if you're paying attention to it. If you're paying attention, you're going to always know and have the way out. You're never going to be stuck. You're never going to be alone. And it feels alone. It feels sad to leave relationships. It feels heartbreaking. It feels desperation. Desperation is a terrible thing. I always advise people to never move desperate. Desperate people get taken advantage of. If you move in desperate, the person that is a taker, that is not such a great person, they're going to cling to you and take advantage of that. Don't never move.
There's some takers out here.
Desperate.
Yes, there's some takers and people that will take advantage of you.
They do.
Some people take advantage of your good heart, and they know it, and they lurkers. They seek after people. Some people seek after people like that.
They do.
You know, let's keep it real.
But I know that God's gonna always make a way. It might be scary to leave a relationship, but when you know that it's no good, no win in it for you, then it's a done deal.
It's a done
deal. That's how I feel about it. Man, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you. Tell a friend about Twisted Wellness Show
and podcast.
So yes.
See ya.
See you.
High five. That was good.